What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to walk you guys through how I took my credit score from the low 600s to over 800. There are 3 steps I needed to complete in order to make this happen. The first step was pull my credit report. Now, the way I did that was I actually contacted the 3 major credit bureaus: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Once I contacted them, I actually requested a copy of each one of those credit bureau reports on myself. Once I got those reports, then I started trying to figure out, what did those credit reports mean? You know, what did I need to pay attention to in order to try and get my credit score above 800? So I started doing some research online, figuring out, okay, what are the categories that make up the credit report? And those categories are personal information, credit account history, credit inquiries, and public records and collections. Those are the things that make up the credit report. And then I went one step further. I continued to do research and to figure out, how do each one of those categories affect my credit score? Once I understood what a credit report was, what were the 4 main components of the credit report, then I was ready to move on to my next step. Now, that next step was finding out what was negative on my credit report. Remember, I ordered my credit report from the 3 major credit bureaus. Now, you don't have to do that. You can go online. There's a million ways to order a credit report. My recommendation, if you don't want to go to each credit reporting agency directly, my recommendation is use annualcreditreport.com. So once I understood what the negative things were in the report, then the next step was to figure out how to fix those things. If there were any inaccurate information in that credit report, then I basically did a dispute form to the credit bureau agencies to dispute that inaccurate past due or late payment. You also got to understand some of those things, or at least for me, I understood some of those things were definitely my things, and unfortunately, for whatever reason, when I was younger, I just didn't take care of them. So the next step I wanted to do in fixing my credit report was I wanted to make sure I contacted those creditors and worked out a situation where, or negotiated a situation where I would offer them less than what I owed them in exchange for them giving me a 0 amount due or a paid out on my credit report. Now, sometimes these negative things on your credit report will stay out there for 7 years. So it's not a quick fix. But the thing that I did and that paid off for me in the long run is I just took care of all of the things that were negative on there, whether they were mistakes on the report. I disputed the mistakes, and the things that were mine, I just picked up the phone or sent a letter to the creditor and negotiated a payoff in exchange for them putting a paid off 0 balance on my credit report. And then as time went on, as long as that was zeroed out, it would fall off the report. And again, it would increase my credit score. Now you're saying, well, why is that important? Well, guys, you know, having good credit and having a credit score of 680 or higher is the difference between 3, 4, 5 interest rate percentages when you're talking about an auto loan. If your credit score is a 680 or below, maybe your rate is 5%. If your credit score is 680 or higher, maybe that 5% auto loan rate goes down to 3%. That's just the way it works, because the better you can show your credit worthiness, and the way you show credit worthiness is by lenders and creditors pulling your credit report and seeing, have you paid your obligations on time and have you been consistent? And that will reflect on how high your credit score is. So that's a big one for me, because you guys know my story. I like to keep my cash in my pocket, and I like to utilize smart debt in order to realize my financial goals. So for me, having good credit and being able to access the very best interest rates out there are critical. I would ask you guys, pull your credit reports, take a look at them, see what's in there. Are there things in that credit report that you don't understand? And if they are, do some research, find out what they mean. If there are things in there that don't belong to you, be proactive. Dispute those items with the 3 major credit bureau reporting agencies, and guess what? By law, they got to take them off if they don't belong to you. Own up to the things that are yours, that you may have made some mistakes on in the past. Don't just try and ignore them. They don't go away. What you want to do is pick up the phone, send a letter to that creditor or that lender and try and negotiate a payoff. A lot of times the lender or the creditor has sold that bad debt. They've sold it to a collection agency. Now the collection agency has it. So you'll have to deal with the collection agency. Normally these collection agencies are buying this bad debt or this charge-off debt pennies on the dollar. For example, if you had $1,000 charged off to a creditor or lender, normally that lender or that creditor will sell that to a collection agent for 10% of that. So the collection agency probably bought it for $100, and then they're going to come after you for the full 1,000. And anything they make over that $100 is profit for them. So there's a lot of room in there for you to negotiate with a collection agency if it gets to that point. But my recommendation is get those things taken care of. And then once you got all of that stuff taken care of from the past, then as you go forward in the future, you just got to make sure you're making your payments on time. Don't go 30 days late. Make your payments on time. Make sure you watch your credit card utilization. If you got a $10,000 limit, keep in mind, normally when you get about 10% of that limit and an outstanding balance on the credit report, your score starts to going down because of your utilization is higher, which is riskier because people think you can't repay it. You're in trouble or things like that. So my recommendation is watch that credit utilization, make your payments on time, put a credit freeze out there if you feel like that may be beneficial to you. And then once a year, at minimum, once a year, pull your credit report so you can find out what's on there. Pulling my credit report, figuring out what was negative on that credit report, and then addressing those negative things and fixing those problems. That's how I took my low 600 credit score to over 800 where it is today, doing those simple steps. And it was free. I didn't have to pay anybody to do that. It took some time and effort on my part and a little bit of research, but the information is out there, guys, on the World Wide Web at your fingertips. All you got to do is sit down, spend some time and doing some research. I just wanted to reiterate again how important credit is if you're a person out there who's not paying cash for everything. I think credit is just something that is essential to a financial person's life. You need to make sure you understand it and how it works and try and keep it as high as you can if you're going to be out there looking to do loans and things like that to push forward your financial situation and to meet your financial goals. Well, guys, if you got questions, drop them down in the comment box. I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video, and give me a thumbs up. It helps the channel and it helps me as well. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. Keep chasing your greatness, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.
If you want 2 free stocks, click on the link in the description box of the video, and Webull is going to give you 2 free stocks when you open up a Webull brokerage account, deposit at least $100 in that brokerage account. Guys, you're going to get 2 free stocks, and they're going to be valued up to $1,850. So if you want that free money, click on that Webull link, open up your new brokerage account today. Today's video is sponsored by my company, RF Financial Consulting. And in my company, I work with individuals just like you through financial mentoring and coaching sessions. And in those 1-hour sessions, we talk about strategies to help you get to your financial freedom, whether it be through real estate investing, stock market investing, creating additional streams of income, credit card arbitrage, or starting and growing a business. If that's something that you might be interested in, there's an email address in the description box of the video. send me an email and let's discuss if I'm the right fit for you.